heard some of what the vice president is saying on the campaign trail as she campaigns for the highest office in the land. What do you think?
Look, she has no credibility on this issue. Let's start there. They've talked about this crisis that we had at the border for more than almost 4 years now, and they denied it was a crisis. They said it was Donald Trump's fault, and then they presided over the worst surge of illegal migration across the southwest border in the history of the entire border. And now on the campaign trail, she's trying to make people believe that she's somehow going to be tougher than she's been after the president appointed her as the border czar to get to the root cause of this problem. Where are the results of that, John? Where are the statistics from Guatemala or El Salvador or from Venezuela? Where is the work that all of those government employees that she's in charge of to fix this problem, to work on root causes? Where are the results of that? I have not seen them. She was a defunder of the police, and before that, she was a defunder of ICE. She has no credibility on this issue whatsoever. She was the attorney general in California, and California now, the entire state is a sanctuary. Not one word out of her while she was in the state, while she was the senator of the state, and now as the vice president. An incentive to go to California if you're in the country illegally and you want to commit more crime. That's what her record is on the border. She was in Arizona. This is her 4th time, I think, in Arizona. She has her own plane, John, that we pay for. She has not made it to the border in Arizona during the pendency of this presidency. The worst surge ever, and she's not been seen by anybody that works the front line.
We opened this newscast with a report from Grady Trimble, and he had this quote. I wrote it down from her. She says, we know it's broken, referring to the border, and we know what it takes to fix it. If that's the case, she's had 3 years, hasn't she?
That's absolutely right. The White House published on day one what they were going to do on the border. One of the first things they did was put a moratorium on repatriation and deportations, a moratorium on building wall on the southwest border. That's where they're at. That's where they've been the entire pendency of this presidency. So she's going to get tough on the border on the campaign trail. I'm not going to believe it because we saw what she did to the men and the women on the front line. Look what happened to those guys in the Horse Patrol. She called them the worst names in this country. Being a law school graduate, not giving them their due process, not giving them the benefit of the doubt. No, she has no credibility on what goes on at the border. Their administration doesn't either. We've got 4 years, almost 4 years under Joe Biden, the worst conditions on the southwest border, more deaths, more fentanyl, more terrorists, more gotaways, and record numbers of encounters on